Hey everybody, Cynthia here from Recollect and Ramble. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm very excited to share with you the first in a series of 3 little golden book junk journals that I have in the works. Now, this one made from the SpongeBob Squarepants, Mr. Fancypants little golden book is the first one that I've really started working on. And I just wanted to stop in today and give you a little update, let you know where I'm at on that project. So yeah, here he is. Just a few things about it. I have used some nice metal book corners on there, and then it does tie closed with this beautiful blue satin ribbon. Now, a little bit of an explanation about the spine. The spine is built in the same way that the Peter Rabbit spine was built, where I kind of separated the book board. So this is kind of a semi-soft spine. There are strips of book board in the spine in these places. I hope this is focusing for you. And then in between are places where that's where the stitching happens. So the spine is very supple. So what I did was I actually layered some of this great fabric that I found at Dollar Tree with some felt. And then I did some button stitching embroidery around the outside. I did glue the spine to the covers of the book. And then I actually, just for some added security, I put in these beautiful little brads that just kind of give it just that little bit of strength so that I feel really secure in how well that spine is going to stay attached to these cover pieces. All righty. So let's get started with a little bit of a flip through. Get all my bead dangles here. There we go. All right. I'm just going to make sure that I am in frame, and then we can get started. All right. So we just untie this. Now this junk journal is in progress. So I haven't added anything such as pockets or tuck spots or any of those things. And I will be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to. I'm thinking that I may just offer this junk journal in pretty close to the condition that you're going to see it here. I am going to add a large dangle on the back, off the spine, and I will talk about that once we get done with the flip through. But I think what I'm going to do is I am actually just going to include a lot of really great ephemera and some papers and things. And then you can feel free to use those or not use those. And then you can decorate your junk journal in whatever way you like. All right. So now I did have a few problems trying to find the right papers to use inside this junk journal. But I did find some, and I will talk about those as we come along, as we come across those in our little flip through here. All right, let's get started. So here is the front cover. Now inside the back cover, you'll see this great big SpongeBob. And one of the things that I did find, and this was also at Dollar Tree, was a SpongeBob like giant coloring and activity book. Okay, and it was huge. So here's just a couple of the pages. Here's a page that I did not use from this, and it is enormous. So I was able to get a couple of pages out of each page, I guess. So these are some of the pages that I did not use in this book. I have those set aside over here. And this is just some remnants of the cover that I still have on hand here. So I did use parts of this beautiful bright colored cover to line the inside of the front cover, and then also here you can see the back cover. All right. So moving ahead, the entire storybook is actually present in this junk journal. So this is a 3 signature junk journal. So that means there's 3 different sections of pages. And in those sections of pages, the entire story is in here in order. All right, so you can follow the story along as we go through. So here we go. This is SpongeBob SquarePants and Mr. Fancypants. All right, so I do have a mix of pretty scrapbook papers, some paper pages from that activity book, some other random papers that I found that sort of fit the theme of, you know, underwater or beach or ocean, some of those things. So you'll see those as we go through. So this is kind of a fun story. Of course, SpongeBob is always just a little bit, he's a little bit crazy. So here we go. Now this first, so this is some vintage music paper. And this of course has a sea theme. You see a ship and a sea, the sea there. I did find some pages out of sort of a summer, I think it's kind of like a homeschooling kind of book. And this is sort of about math and science and language arts. And so it's got a whole bunch of different things. I did find some pages that actually had sort of what I would consider sort of sea creatures. So here's a pelican. Over here we have a little crab here. All right. So more of the storybook here. There we go. It's laundry day for SpongeBob. And his pet Gary is looking on in amazement, it seems. So here is one of those pages from the activity book. It's got nice big illustrations. Some more scrapbook paper. It looks like mermaid scales, fish scales. And there's more of that activity book, some more of the storybook. And there we go. Here's some scrapbook paper that looks like it's underwater with some bubbles. You'll have to excuse the shadows here. I'll move some things that are making shadows because the sun is starting to come into my studio. All right. Now in the center of this is this is a paper that was meant for a different project but didn't make it into that. And this is hand painted paper that I made. So this is my, I guess, artwork. But I thought that the colors were great for SpongeBob SquarePants. So here's Gary here being hugged by SpongeBob. This is one of my hand printed papers. And that makes this nice center spread. Now the cord, this is the same cord actually that I did this embroidery with. The only difference with this cord is that actually, and it's just craft string like this, you guys. It's just craft string that then I pulled through this beeswax wax wheel. You can see, let me get that open. You can see where I pulled it through and waxed this cord. And yeah, waxing it makes it stronger. And these are the binding cords here in the center, and I just made some pretty bead dangles on the ends of those. And every signature is going to have bead dangles on the end of the binding strings. All right. So this is into the second half of the first signature. There's Sandy in her bikini. Here we go. So the story goes that SpongeBob threw all of his SquarePants into the dryer, and they were in there too long, and so they all shrunk. Yeah, he's in trouble. He's in trouble, you guys. So, all right, here we go. Yep, just going through the second half. And so he did go shopping for some new pants, but they were all out of SpongeBob's style. So he tried on lots of different pants. Here's some of that like homeschooling activity book. It's got mermaids and sea creatures, King Triton there. And then here's also a bunch of other fish and things that live in the ocean. Here's part of that music paper. And then I loved how this paper kind of picked up this purple background over here and all of the pants that SpongeBob tried on and decided those did not work for him. All right. Finally, he finds a pair of pants that fit. But these pants are not SquarePants. All right. Here is the second signature for this. This beautiful bright green that echoes SpongeBob, I think, in the color-wise, this bright green and kind of yellow polka dot. And then there's some lovely fish. Some more from that activity book. Here is the homeschool book. There's some sea turtles. I also used some pages from, it's like a narwhal storybook. It's like a Goodnight Narwhal. I don't know. But anyway, I just thought that the colors were so great, and it had these great underwater scenes of kind of like the coral reef and stuff. So I used some pages out of that because I just thought they were beautiful. Here we've got some more scrap paper. This is a beachy theme. Here's Krusty Krab. This is, yeah, just, and Sandy there in her scuba suit. Some more fish. And then this piece of paper is some cabbage dyed paper. I think it kind of looks very sea-like. It looks like waves. And I did fold this in such a way that then this will become a pocket down here. So I will add that pocket before we get too much farther in this. I'll glue those flaps shut. All right. So here is the center spread for the second signature. Again, I did add some pretty beads to the binding cords, so that just adds a little bit of interest there. Here we are. This is the second half of the second signature. That's going to become a pocket as well. And then a little bit more of that school activity book. Some of it had been filled in, but that's okay. I kind of like that. There's somebody, somebody else's sort of little touch in there. So it gives a little history to this piece. So here we go. There's Patrick. Here's the narwhal again, the sea turtles. And then finally, this is the end of the second signature. Now, the third signature starts again with the story. And in it, SpongeBob runs into all of his friends, and they don't recognize him because he's not wearing square pants. So it is, like I said, a very silly story, which is, of course, it's a SpongeBob story. So there you go. He says, SpongeBob has square pants. Now leave me alone, you mysterious stranger. So yeah, nobody seems to recognize him. And as we go through here, he tries so hard to get everybody to recognize him, and then realizes that nobody knowing who he is actually a superpower. So anyway, it's just kind of funny. And here I loved that I found this pineapple paper, which is perfect for SpongeBob since his house is a pineapple. And here we go. He goes to the Krusty Krab to cause a whole bunch of trouble, but Squidward's waiting for him. He's got something diabolical planned. And here we are. More SpongeBob. This is another hand-printed, hand-painted paper made by me that I used as the center spread. Some more bead dangles here. And now we're into the second half of the last signature. There we go. Looks like SpongeBob and Squidward are causing lots and lots of problems. So there we are. And then finally what happens is Mr. Krab gets so mad at him, and Mr. Krab said, take those round pants off. Alrighty. At the end, poor SpongeBob, he says, whatever you say, Mr. Krabs. He's standing there in his tighty whities. And then he says, I guess I'm SpongeBob Underpants from now on. So here is the inside of the back cover. Again, like I said, I did protect those with those metal book corners. And there we are. So the activity book was called SpongeBob Silly Pants. So I did cut that off just to add another little decoration there. So now something I am going to add to this, you might notice this bright orange clip here. And this orange clip is actually a vintage paper clip, but it's made to accommodate quite a stack of papers. It says in the descriptions that it's 30 pages of paper. So I thought that might be nice to do sort of a dangle, a journal dangle from. So I did carefully drill using this little drill bit, and I just did it by hand, a hole through there, and I am going to make a nice dangly journal charm that is going to utilize these elements among other things. So it's going to have this cute little SpongeBob figurine that I found at Dollar Tree, and I just loved him. I thought he was perfect. This is not Gary, but I thought it was kind of reminiscent of Gary. So that's going to be on that dangle as well. I bought these beautiful little clear kind of ornaments at Hobby Lobby, and then I filled it with beads and pearls and some glitter pieces, and I thought that would go perfect there. And then I just love this really sparkly bead, and I'm gonna add that bead in there as well. There's gonna be other beads and little additions onto that dangle. So yeah, and I will share that with you when I get that finished. And that is going to decorate the spine here and just dangle right down from here. All right, you guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's just a little kind of in progress view of my little SpongeBob Squarepants little golden book junk journal. It's quite a mouthful. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave a comment letting me know. That really helps my channel. If you'd like to see more of these, now I do have 2 more little golden books that I've got kind of things picked out. I'm starting to prep those, and I will be sharing those with you pretty soon. So if you want to see those, be sure to subscribe, and then you'll know when I get those posted. So once again, thanks you guys. This is Cynthia from Recollect and Ramble. I'm so happy that you joined me for this little sneak peek, and I hope you're having a great day, and I would love to see you right back here real soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.